What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Basilisk. You guys smell that? I smell a giveaway. Stay tuned for details. All right, guys, so this is another one by our friends over at Stentorian Vapor. Big shout out to them and Watofo for sending this my way for the purpose of making this video. Always love taking a look at their products, especially when they look this good. So taking a look online, this device is available in 5 different flavors. You have the gunmetal version in black and red. The rest are silver versions in purple and yellow, yellow and green, red and blue and pink. Mine here is so nice and matchy with this Apocalypse RDA with the splatter cap on top of there. And if you guys want to take a look at one of these for yourself, you can get one for $80 online. I will provide you guys with links right down there in the description below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, as you can see here, we've got the Basilisk in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging and then talk about what's inside. So as you can see, it comes in this lovely little display box here, and I really do like this. It's kind of different and unique, you know, not every day you get some presentation like this. However, it doesn't really squeeze onto that box good enough, so it tends to fall out during shipping and stuff, so just be aware of that. If yours comes damaged, that's probably the reason why. But anyways, moving on, we have the little scratch-off authentication and the color indication down here. We have the UPC on this side, another color indication on the top piece there, and nothing on that side. On the back, we have some pretty basic stuff, you know, your company information, your what comes in the kit thing, and some warnings, and that's pretty much it in this lovely little silver emboss with this shiny blue kind of fabric-y feeling box. But there you go. Let's go ahead and take off the front cover. Obviously, we have our Basilisk right there, which we'll take a look at in just a second here. And we have our user manual. So let's just go ahead and take that out of the bag real quick. It's a booklet style, and you have some discs. Let's take a look at the manual. English section is fairly short, only a few pages, but they do have color graphics, which is nice. The text is a bit small, but no real major complaints there. And of course, you have that in a ton of different languages. So there you go. And I think that's it. Don't believe there's anything under this. Yeah, that is just glued down there, so there's nothing else in this box. Moving on. Alright guys, so let's talk about the specs. It uses 2 high-amp 18650 batteries that are not included. The maximum wattage output is 200 watts. The minimum atomizer resistance is 0.1 ohms. It has 4 modes, including standard, rebuild, powerful, and powerful plus. It has a power curves adjustment, sturdy zinc alloy frame, decorative high-quality resin inlay with a matte feel, intuitive 0.91-inch OLED display, oversized firing button, 2 adjustment buttons, a hinged battery door, and a 510 connection. Alright guys, so let's talk about the Basilisk from top to bottom, starting off with the 510 connection. It is spring-loaded, and there's not really much else to talk about other than the fact that I was in so much of a rush to get this thing working that I totally ignored the rest of the box, and I didn't even see these little plastic shields in there that would have probably solved the issue that I've been having, which is, of course, the little markings where my atomizer sits. And I don't know, I guess it's my own fault for not really going through the box or whatever, but there you go. That's something for those of you that are planning on getting one of these. Make sure you open the box and actually look at what's inside before you go and rush and put your dripper on there. But there you go. We have the Basilisk marking right there on the top. Hopefully you guys might be able to see that. I'm not really sure, but it's very faint markings on this thing with a matte sort of aluminum finish or stainless steel finish. So very classy looking, very classy looking. It has a nice big fire button that has a little bit of concaveness to it, which is nice, very comfortable to use, very clicky, but not overly loud or anything like that. So that's nice. We have a big screen on here, big bright LED screen, no complaints in that department whatsoever. And we have our 2 up and down buttons, or we have the up button and the down button there. Obviously, the elephant in the room is this gorgeous resin here. It is absolutely stunning. I've been able to keep this thing in pretty good shape. You know what? I've taken this thing with me on like different adventures. You know, I've go all over the place. I went to Dallas and I brought this thing along. Actually, Roybot took a picture of this thing with my Armageddon Apocalypse on top. So thanks, Roybot. Really appreciate that. But yeah, you can see a few little minor wear marks down at the bottom there. Just kind of normal everyday wear and tear. Really can't fault the manufacturer for that whatsoever, but it is just something that happens there. But yeah, the resin is still in really good shape. Even the bottom of this thing is in pretty good shape. You can see here the little Stentorian logo on the bottom, and this is your battery door. Kind of a nice, softer battery door. It doesn't really have the clickiness that I would have liked in it, but you know, then again, it's nice and quiet and it stays in place fairly nicely, so no real issues there. So let's go ahead and put some batteries in this thing. The battery door is clearly marked positive and negative, so that's what the direction that faces up in that instance. So let's put our batteries in just like that, lock it shut, and we have Stentorian on the screen right there. And to turn this thing on, because it doesn't go automatically on, you have to click it 5 times, and there you go. Nice big bright screen, as I said. You have your wattage right there. Obviously this is in standard mode, and there's no atomizer on it, but there you can see your battery reading, and it gives you a real true accurate battery reading. It's bouncing right now between 80 and 79%. Functions on this thing are fairly simple. Just click the down button and the fire button and it flips the screen around. So for those people that want it the other way around, there you go. And otherwise, the plus button with the fire button is changing your different modes. So you have powerful, powerful plus, standard, and of course the rebuild mode there. As you can see, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it in standard for right now. And to key lock, just simply pressing the plus and minus button at the same time. So just go like that. Keys are locked. So now the wattage is not able to be changed. To unlock it, just one more time on there, and it's that simple. So very, very simple operation. To shut the device off, just 5 more clicks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there you go. The thing is off. So yeah, that's about all I had for you guys in this little up close section. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off today with the pros, and my first pro is that it's so stylish. This thing just reeks of class. I absolutely love just the simple little angles on there. I love the resin. It's so nice and matchy-matchy. It's simple, but not over the top with a bunch of lights and doodads and gadgets strapped to it. So yeah, this thing, if you like a nice, simple, stylish mod, is definitely going to be for you. My second pro today, speaking of simplicity, this thing is simple and easy to use. I absolutely love that there's no super complicated menus that you have to go through to get the simple stuff done. A few simple little keystrokes that you have to learn, and that's about it with this device here. You can just slap some batteries in, throw an RDA on top, and you're off and vaping in a matter of a few seconds. My third pro today is how powerful it is. This thing can pretty much handle any old build that you throw in it down to 0.1 ohms. Right now I've got a 0.16 ohm dual frame staple in there, and it's set to 86 watts. You know, it's not really that much wattage overall, and it still gives me a really good vape, so definitely give the Basilisk a look. And my fourth and final pro for this device is the battery life. I get excellent battery life with this one here. I'm using just the regular old Samsung 30Qs in it at the moment, hovering around the 100 watt mark, and I easily get a full day's worth of battery life. And with that, it reminds me a lot of the Voopoo drag box, mainly because instead of giving you the low battery warning when it gets down to a certain voltage, it'll just put the full power of the batteries to the coils, and that's about it. So it goes down to the safe mark of your batteries, which is about 3.2, 3.3 volts or so. That's what it usually reads when I throw them on the charger. But with that, I absolutely love that, just a little bit more battery life. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons, my first con is the weak resin. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are also subscribed to Grim Green's channel, and if you watched his coverage of the vape tour, then you saw that he dropped and broke his Basilisk. Now, unfortunately, the resin on this thing is pretty weak and it's pretty thin as well, so you gotta really, really baby this thing if you want to keep it in good condition. I haven't had any issues with it so far, but it's definitely something in the back of my mind constantly. My second con for this device is when you don't have battery batteries in it. You can easily twist and warp it, which is really sketching me out lately because honestly, this is not one of those workhorse all day, every day sort of devices. It's one of those things that you can pull out and it looks really pretty when you're vaping on it and it looks great in pictures and all that. But as far as being a long-term, hard-hitting, just sort of be-all, end-all device, I would not recommend this one just because it's going to get broken at some point. You know something's going to happen to it and it's just going to break unexpectedly. My third con for this device is the lack of a USB port. Now there's two reasons why I really wish they added a USB port on this device. One is firmware updates. Now personally, I like to keep my firmware updated just because sometimes there can be little quirky things that go on with your device that can easily be fixed with a patch in the firmware, and that's something you can't do with this. You're stuck with the installed software on your device as it comes from the manufacturer. And secondly is onboard charging. Now personally, I prefer to take my batteries out to charge them separately. I just feel like it's a safer and slightly more efficient way to charge my batteries. But for those people that don't want to spend the extra money on a separate charger or just for the simplicity factor of it, then you're without that feature on this device. And my fourth and final con for this device is that it uses a mystery chip. We don't know exactly what we have under the cover with this one here. It feels like Stentorian Vapor focused a little bit more effort on the aesthetics with this device rather than functionality. So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for a review? And I'm going to say maybe kind of leaning on the no side for this one, just because of the price point. It is a little bit expensive and you don't get a whole heck of a lot for your money, but it's just so pretty. Look how pretty it is. It's just, it's hard for me to say no to a pretty device. And honestly, if I had a couple extra bucks kicking around, then I would probably just go ahead and buy one. And I think you guys would agree with me on that fact. But with that, if you want to get one for yourself, then make sure you check out the links right down there in the description. So it's giveaway time once again. That's right, we've got one of these lovely green and yellow Basilisk mods that one of you lucky people will be winning. And with that, the rules are fairly simple, but we're going to be switching it up a little bit this time, and I'll explain why. So I've got my page on Facebook for the channel, but this time I want to do a group. We're going to have a group where you guys can suggest topics or ideas for Fresh Build Friday. You can share your coils with me or any sort of ideas for the channel or just general vape talk. So with that, it's going to need a name, and I want you guys to pick it. So here's how you enter the giveaway. Number 1, be subscribed to my channel. That's pretty much a given. Number 2, like this video. Again, fairly standard. 3, email me an idea to name the group. Now, creativity definitely counts with this one here, guys, but I do want it somehow related to Daily Vape TV, of course. And with that, you can each enter 2 times with 2 separate emails. Make sure you keep them separated just because it makes my life a whole heck of a lot easier. Of course, my email is right down there in the description below. And last but not least, comment the word done in the box below right down there once all other steps are completed. And that's it. You're entered to win this lovely Basilisk mod. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts all about the Basilisk or anything else you guys want to discuss down there. Also, check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.